Welcome back guys to another Zero DTE video, and today Coach Ernie is going to be talking about BAF trades, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're interested in becoming a pro trader, check out the link in the description to find Coach Ernie's school community. Enjoy guys.
I had a question about the chart you show pretty much every day in the morning analysis. The big ass fly debit price butterfly width guide range. Just the range bar at the top, is that a dollar figure? Like wide flies, it ranges from 5 to 35.
It depends on what you're looking at. It's an option price figure, because if you're looking at the ES, a 25 on the ES is different than a 25 on the SPX because of the multiplicity factor. On the ES, a 25 is 12.5. On the SPX, it's 25 is 25 because it has, on the ES, the multiplier is 50, and on the SPX, it's 100.
So that's an actual dollar figure though? So is this, is this one pertaining to the SPX? I mean, apples to apples?
I don't care. So it doesn't matter to me. As long as I look at it, the option price, it's the same ratio. It's the same market. So I don't care about the multiplier. So I'm not looking at dollar figure. I'm just looking at the price because it's equivalent across.
The debit price though.
Yeah.
So the debit price, let's say it's 20. Is that times 100? Is that $2,000 that we're investing on that?
If you're doing that big ass fly with an SPX, then it's times 100. If you're doing it with the ES, it's times 50.
Gotcha. Okay. And just to clarify that, so if 5, meaning that's a really narrow fly, actually, sorry, that's a wide fly. I got these backwards then. So 5 versus 35. Can you explain what that entails?
So a 5 wide fly, the width of a fly is measured from the width of each of the component spreads in the fly. So a 5 wide fly in reality is 10 wide, and 30 wide is actually 60 wide. But the nomenclature is to just make it whatever the one side is, because they're symmetrical, so we know that they're both going to be the same. But in terms of performance, is that what you're talking about? What's the difference between a narrow fly versus a wide fly?
No, I'm just looking at that range bar at the very top. On the left-hand side, it says wide flies, and then just below it, it has the number 5 on this range bar. On the right-hand side,
it's all the way up to 35, because that's the range that I've seen. I don't think I've ever seen anything lower than a 5, I've never seen anything higher than a 35.
As far as the debit?
Yes, the debit.
The price. Yeah. Okay. You never seen anything higher than 35 and lower than 5. Okay.
And that's in a market where on 35, where the market has gone down as low as 8 on the VIX, maybe a little bit lower, 7 and change. I've seen very close to a 35 on that fly.
And that's an at the money big ass fly?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've seen volatility as high as 60. And I've seen the big ass fly get down to about a 5, 5.5, 5.25, something like that. We saw an 8 a few weeks ago, right? When volatility peaked at around 29.
I remember something like a 10, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a period there where it got down to 8.
Because volatility was just shooting. That was, I see it on the chart there. Yeah.
That's a great time to put on a Batman because they're so cheap. And you can put on a much wider fly. In general, you want to put on wider flies because they perform way better. They have a better return.
More window, yeah. Because you have a bigger window of profit tent?
No, I think it's a nonlinear relationship from width to return. The best way I can explain it is to show you this study that I did once. All right, so do you see this?
Yes.
So what I did was I was looking at the center strike and what the value of that fly was right at the center strike at various times in the day, half-hour increments. And then I did that on different width flies from 10 all the way up to 35. And what I'm talking about is that there's a nonlinear relationship between width and actual return. I tried to keep them all to a similar risk to reward. So I would be comparing apples to apples across the board, same ratio risk to reward, 1 to 7. And what I found was that the cost of getting into a 10 wide would ultimately, at the end of the day, return about 70%. But the cost of getting into a 35 wide would ultimately give me a return of 356%. So if they're the same risk to reward, same ratio of cost to potential, but you're getting a much bigger return on a wider fly. So this chart down below is mapping that relationship. Like I said, it's nonlinear.
Gotcha.
So the wider flies perform better.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button below. If you're interested in becoming a pro trader, remember to check out the link in the description for Ernie's school community.